Welcome back to Waxing On. It's Friday. We're wrapping up the week of Christmas music. And today we're looking at an artist that we haven't featured on the show before. And the album I have, or the CD, was donated to me. Again, one of my friends picked it up at a secondhand store, which, remember I tell you, you get all kinds of great deals there. It's Gloria Estefan, Christmas Through Your Eyes. There you go. Now, not necessarily the Miami Sound Machine, but some great Christmas tunes on here. I'll give you a little idea of what's on it, and then we'll talk about the musicians, because there's some excellent players on this album. 11 tunes. Now, what I found with the tunes, there wasn't a lot of real upbeat music that you would expect. Now, granted, the first song, the overture and Silver Bells, the arrangement, a lot of brass, a lot of excitement, a lot of what I would have thought. But then some of the other songs get in a little quieter mode. Here's the rundown of the set list. It's Overture, Silver Bells, Christmas Song, the Mel Torme classic, Chestnuts Roasting by an Open Fire. We've got Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow, This Christmas, I'll Be Home for Christmas, White Christmas, Silent Night, Christmas Through Your Eyes, Abuelito de Navidad, and Christmas Old Lang Syne. So you can hear from the set list, yeah, there's a lot of, I don't want to say laid back, but a lot of ballad type tunes on here. But there's a few tunes that she features an orchestra, and this is where I was really surprised when I looked at it. Now, arrangements and conducted by Patrick Williams. Now, I don't know if that name sounds familiar to many of you. You've probably listened to his music, but just didn't realize it. I remember first seeing Patrick Williams' name. Well, first, let's go back. I read the credits, right? I'm one of those guys that sit at the end of the movies and watch the credits right through to the end. TV shows, watch the credits to the end just to see who's on there. And in the 70s, Patrick Williams started showing up. He was doing the music for Mary Tyler Moore Show, Bob Newhart Show, a lot of the MTM productions. And that's where I first started hearing the kind of music he was putting together, and it kind of piqued my interest. So I try and catch his stuff whenever I get a chance or if I happen across it. And this album, Patrick's conducting and arranging for the orchestra on a number of tunes. Now, full orchestra, of course for me, I'm a brass player, right? A trumpet player. I'm looking at the trumpets, I'm looking at the trombones. So give you some idea, there's some classic guys on here. In that first tune, Silver Bells, trumpets, Warren Looning, #1 studio man in LA. He's one of the ones that we're getting first call, along with people like Rick Baptist. We got George Graham, Larry Hall, and Charlie Davis. Now, if you follow the LA studio scene, some of those names are going to sound pretty familiar. But let's go down to the trombone section. We started off with Bill Watrous. Now, we talked about Bill Watrous a long time ago. We featured a show on him with the Manhattan Wildlife Refuge and some albums he put out, as well as with Brass Connection. He was just one of the great trombone players from my era. In the 70s, he was sweeping the downbeat poles. He was really one of the great horn players. So he shows up on here playing trombone. We've also got Charles Loper and Bill Reichenbach, who's shown up on so many albums. I've talked about him I don't know how many times over the last 3 years. If it's in LA and it's a studio job, he's probably playing. A lot of times award shows, you'll see his name show up on that as well. So the brass section he's got for this are just some excellent players, and if you're a horn player, you're going to want to hear it just for that reason alone. That's on Overture for Silver Bells. We have a few songs that are less orchestra, a little smaller group in there. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, another Pat Williams arrangement in there. Let It Snow, Pat Williams, but not with as many players. But still the same trumpet section and trombone section. So those guys are still getting a chance to stretch out in there. Now, we do have one other treat in here, and I'm just looking to see which one it was. Christmas Through Your Eyes, co-written by Gloria Estefan. So she's also contributed an original tune in here as well. Overall, pretty good album I found. Again, maybe not that lighthearted, fun music. A lot more ballads, but I mean some great ones in there. You figure I'll Be Home for Christmas, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, Mel Torme's Christmas song. Those are classics. And she does an excellent job in there. So this week, instead of kicking it off with something fun and, lighthearted, maybe you just want to relax a little bit and listen to some old classics. There's some great arranging on here by Patrick Williams, just an excellent arranger. Some great players. If you're familiar at all with the session players I mentioned, you're going to want to listen to it just for that reason. And if you're a Gloria Estefan fan, yeah, you're going to want to grab this. So, Gloria Estefan, Christmas Through Your Eyes. Thanks very much for the donation, and really enjoyed listening to that this week. Okay, that's it for, well, the first full week of December, I guess. We're crowding in on Christmas. Got a couple more weeks left to go. I got a lot of special treats to pull out, especially some of those streaming albums that I've come across. Hope to see you next week. Until then, everybody have a great weekend. Take care. Stay safe. Thanks for stopping by.